Me from the future, and I've just finished putting this battery through all my real-world tests. I'm giving you a little spoiler alert. This has officially become my second most favorite 12-volt, 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery that I've tested to date. It really checks a lot of boxes and is the first one I've tested that has self-heating. Very cool feature. Let me show you how this performs. Let's unbox this. Okay, we've got the terminal screws and the terminal covers here. And then we've got some documentation. And here's the battery. I appreciate them putting some of the stats and information right on the top here, especially your charging information. It's got low temperature protection, and then it has a self-heating feature. Continuous charging current of up to 100 amps and a max continuous discharge current of 100 amps. The BMS will turn on the heating function automatically inside the battery to make sure the battery runs in the best condition when starting charging, when the temperature is lower than 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius. The current of charging will provide electricity for the heating film inside the battery. When the internal temperature reaches 41 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 degrees Celsius, the BMS will immediately close the heating function and all current will charge to the battery. Charge and current should be more than 10 amps if heating function is happening. Love all the different charts and curves here. Not very many manuals give you, 3 entire pages, 6 different charts and curves to look at. That's pretty cool. And it does support app control.
"2,000 years later."
I just took this Vatrer battery out of the freezer, and as you can see, it's nice and chilly. 9.7 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 12 Celsius. So we've got a solar panel out there in the sun, solar charge controller right here. We've got the Victron Smart Shunt here. So we should be able to see the direction of current here once we plug the solar in. So let's see what happens here. Okay, 2 200 watt panels. We should get over 200 watts easily. It throttled itself down. You see how it was going up really high, and then it throttled it down to the 6 amp 90 watt range. So that means that the heaters are officially on inside the battery. That is very impressive to have not only cold temperature charging protection, but also heated batteries. So you can run it in very cold temperatures and it will heat it up. Here is the BMS app. Oh, and look at this. The charge is off. And we've got protection. Charging protection is on. No power going to the battery. You can see that it's turned off the charge. And forgive the cute baby sounds here in the background. I'm in charge of the little one today while mom's out doing stuff. We've risen to 21 degrees Fahrenheit and climbing. Now it's toasty out here today, so we're getting some heat from outside, but there's no way that it would be climbing this fast just from the ambient air temperature. 21.2. Let's go back to the smart shunt. Here we are back to the smart shunt. We're pulling 88 watts through the shunt. So something inside that battery is consuming power. In this BMS, we can see that we are not charging at all. 0 watts across the board. And we've got protection enabled. We're at 22 degrees. So those heaters are doing a number. It hit 41 degrees. And now we're charging. So yeah, it's got to just go over 41 degrees and then you're good to go. And you can see here in the Victron app, we're now pushing 15.3 amps, 214 watts into that battery. Very, very cool. First time playing with a self-heating battery. Love it. Good job, Vatrer. How long can this Vatrer 100 amp hour 12 volt battery run my full-size kitchen refrigerator? We're going to use this power station as a medium between the battery and the fridge. This serves 2 purposes. One, I need an inverter, so this has that built-in inverter. And then 2, sometimes I'm not right here when the battery dies. I'm a couple hours behind. And so this power station will see the fridge through and keep my stuff cold. We're also going to be running the power through the Victron Smart Shunt. That will give us a measurement of capacity. Now, I do need to insert here, this capacity test is lower than a 0.2C rate. So usually the numbers get slightly skewed to the smaller side. We do need to take the results with a little bit of a grain of salt, but again, we're all about doing real world tests. So this is something you would be doing in the real world. Extending the runtime of one of your power stations to run your fridge during a grid down situation. So we want to see what it's going to perform like. You can see here on the Victron Smart Shunt, everything is zeroed out. You can see the fridge is pulling just over 100 watts. Perfect timing, 11 a.m. on the dot. Let's see how long this runs for. We have finished the full-size fridge test. Check this out, very impressive results. We did discharge a full 100 amp hour, and that is again less than 0.2C. So that is a very impressive result. Now it is just past 7 in the morning. I missed when that battery cut off by about 2 hours. That battery just ran my full-size fridge for about 17 hours. This inverter charger is incredibly heavy, so this next test we're going to use extension cords for. Can this Vader 12 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery power? Follow the cord. A 120 volt mini split heat pump. This is 9,000 BTUs and we're going to be running it in cooling today. Piece of cake for it, no problem. We got this running on the Vader battery. Let's run back to within Bluetooth range and see what kind of power this is pulling. Back in the garage here, and with the mini split running as well as the overhead from the inverter, you can see maybe, it's a little hard to see, but anyway, 757 watts right in there. And that's just for the first initial startup on that mini split. Once it's run for a little while and the set point temperature gets closer to where it should be, I see it ramp as low as 200 watts, even with the outdoor unit still running. So this battery can easily run a 120 volt mini split heat pump. All right, one of everyone's favorite tests. Can this Vader battery power a clothes washer and a clothes dryer? Now, this dryer is a gas dryer, so it just uses 120 volts. We've got a load of clothes in the dryer and a load of clothes here in the washer. We're going to start with the dryer here because that's the one that's usually the hardest one to get going. Once it gets going, it's good. It's just the initial surge really puts a load on these batteries. 240 volt socket is unused. You might be able to see the gas line back there, but you can also see that the outlet is not being used. So we've got them plugged in right here, comes down, yellow extension cord, and there's the battery and the 3000 watt inverter, which is more than capable of starting and running this dryer. So the weak link is the battery. 3, 2, 1. Aha! Started it. Piece of cake. We're pulling just over 300 watts. Once it gets going, it's not hard. It's just that initial surge. Did a great job with that. Let's run a batch of wash at the same time. We're at a state of charge of 98%. This is a pretty soiled batch of wash, so this washer's gonna run for 80 minutes. This dryer's gonna run for approximately an hour. So let's see if this battery can do a full batch of wash. All right, we are on the spin cycle. We're consuming just under 500 watts. The wash is done. And as you can see, we're down to 55% state of charge. So this Vader battery can easily handle a load of wash. Can this Vader 12 volt 100 amp hour battery run a full-size household vacuum cleaner? It's pulling. It was pulling like 1600 watts, over 100 amps of discharge. Battery cut it off. I love to see batteries that do that, even though it's not able to run that. It's good to see that they have the surge power and it automatically resets. It's really good to be able to see that that is able to provide a really good surge start. We saw it with the dryer, we saw it start the vacuum here, but after a period of time of it being overcurrent, drawing overcurrent on it, it shuts itself down, and that's a really good safety feature to see. And I'm also very happy to see that it has an automatic reset. Can this Vader 12 volt 100 amp hour battery power an electric hot plate? I think it will power it for a couple of seconds and then turn off. This will be a great follow-up test from that vacuum to see what it's able to give us for a short period of time, and then see the overcurrent protection kick in. We want to look at these two figures right here. Right now the inverter is just pulling about 44 watts. So let's kick this on. As you can see, we're pulling 138 amps, 1700 watts. So that's quite a bit, and there we go, it just shut off. Now this has an automatic restart feature. We should see kick in here pretty quick. There it goes. This battery is really doing a good job. In this Vader 100 amp hour 12 volt battery power, follow the cord, a full-size gaming PC workstation. So if we look underneath the desk here, right there is the outlet. Nothing's plugged into that. We've got all the computer stuff plugged into this UPS right here, which I made a video about recently. Go check it out. It's a pretty sweet unit. The yellow cord's coming and powering the UPS, which in turn is just passing the power through to that PC. We've got 3 4K monitors, and this is a gaming benchmark, so we're pushing the graphics really hard right now. And so if we look here on the app, you can see right there, it's a little hard to see, but anyway, 660 watts of current. So if you were pushing a computer really hard like this, you could get a solid 2 hours of runtime on one of those batteries, and of course even longer if you weren't pushing it really hard. Can this Vader battery power a microwave? And yes, the microwave is here in my garage. And based on the other high load tests, I'm guessing this will easily start this microwave, and then it will cut itself out on overcurrent protection, because this microwave pulls a lot of power. I've got the app here so we can see. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 1300 watts, 1900 watts, 155 amps, 156 amps. And there it goes. It was able to run it just fine. Then it triggers the overcurrent protection after a couple of seconds of that high amp draw, which is very good to see. In this 12 volt 100 amp hour Vader battery power, follow the yellow cord, full size gas furnace. What we're using to input this power today is this easy generator switch. Highly recommend anyone who uses a gas furnace have one of these. It makes powering your furnace during a grid down situation incredibly easy. Have ignition. The blower is up to speed now, and if we take a look at the app, you can see that we're pulling just over 500 watts. That includes the overhead of the inverter. It's estimating that this would run for just about 2.5 hours at a 93% state of charge. And that's assuming that this furnace is running that entire time. If it's cycling off and on, obviously your runtime would be longer. So yeah, this Vader battery can easily run a full-size gas furnace. That concludes the testing. This battery has officially become my second favorite 12 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery I've tested. It just checks a lot of boxes for me. I love the app control. I love the large capacity that it has. Even though I tested it at under 0.2C rate, it still pulled a full 100 amp hours. And then I love the self-heating. I live in a cold spot, and there's all kinds of cool use cases for this outside around the property. And then you can't beat the price point for the feature set that it's got. So I think Vader really did a good job with this unit. I'm gonna put a link down in the description to this, as well as a discount code for all of you guys. And then also don't forget to check out the link to my spreadsheet where I compare all of the batteries that I've tested thus far and grade them. I think a lot of you will find that very helpful. I put a lot of effort and time into these videos, if you can't tell, and the only compensation I ask from all of you is to be sure and give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I love hearing from all of you. You all have such great comments and insights. Sound off down in the comments what you think of this. I'll look forward to hearing from you. And be sure and share the channel with your friends and family, because I think we really bring some value to the table with the testing and stuff that we do. Alright, we'll catch y'all next time.